Hey, my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. And of course, I think of my favorite quote of the century by Oscar Wilde, which says, "Life is too important to be taken seriously, so let's lighten up, folks." Okay, so today's topic is, drumroll please, Life of a Sex Worker Part 3. Okay, so hopefully you guys watched the first two parts, and now we're going to get into juicy stories. So I was working at the massage parlor, and this was like early 90s. And, I'd see like 10, 11, 12 clients a day. So this one particular day, I had three kind of unique situations back to back. And, they say everything happens in threes. So we're going to call them Patches, Sybil, and the Claw in that order. So Patches is this fine man that walks through the door and we're there, I'm giving him the massage, we're naked, of course. And at one point, like when he turned over, the entire time from the moment he walked in, he was wearing a patch on his eye. And I just remembered, didn't think anything initially, but then when he turned over and we were actually face to face, I was like, oh my God, what's behind door number one? And I just, all of a sudden, I was obsessed with wanting to know what was back there. Was it a glass eye? I don't know, maybe he has something going on. For all I knew, conjunctivitis, who knows? But I don't think it was that. I would hope he would have not seen me if he had something like that going on. But I just remember even I was that turned on by him, and there was such an attraction that we at one point we were kissing. And even as I'm kissing him, usually I close my eyes. So you close your eyes sometimes when you kiss. I couldn't close my eyes. I had them open. So I'm kissing him, and with my right eye, I'm looking at his left eye because I'm like, what's back there? So, but I got through it, and I was like, that was interesting. Then the next one that came in immediately after was also really fine. I call him Sybil because we were doing the massage, and in between, in the middle of it, it seemed like every 10 minutes his voice would change. And I was like, wait, who am I with? And he would become like a completely different person. And I remember thinking to myself, is this bitch schizophrenic? Or I don't know, maybe he was doing an acting exercise. I don't know, because he was that fine. And, I ended up kissing him as well. And I got through it, but I just remember it was towards the ending, it was a little freaky because he went from this hot masculine sounding guy to suddenly he had a British accent. And then suddenly he sounded like bitches I grew up with in the Bronx. He got very street in the way he was talking. It was literally, I felt like I was at an orgy, and I was like, I should have charged triple because it was three different bitches I was with all wrapped up in one. And because I had just done Patches and now Sybil, I was like, how much worse can it get? Funny you would ask, because then man number three, who I call the Claw, again walks through the door, and I was like, wow, another fine man. That I'm thinking to myself, this is too good to be true, because I just had these two that I was like, So in walks the Claw, and I call him the Claw because as fine as he was, I noticed that he was wearing black gloves, which he never took off. Why? Because his hands were literally the fingers were not normal, I guess. So, and they looked like a claw. He almost looked like he had the hands of the Penguin from Batman. And I just remember, you always try to be professional with these things, and you don't want to freak out or let them know that, that you're horrified, frankly. But I'm massaging the man. And then, of course, when he turns over for the inevitable, the happy ending part, then of course, mutual touching is allowed. So he's touching me back. And I just remember it took all the energy that I had and all the mental energy that I had to not freak out, because then suddenly he had the glove on and he's touching me with his claws. And I was like, oh, what's going on? So, but I got through that as well. And I remember that day I had done I did like 10 clients that day, and I'll never forget. I had done 3 that were just like, whatever. And then these were like number 4, 5, and 6. So they were like right smack in the middle of the day. And then I had like 4 more afterwards, which were, you know, didn't nothing out of the ordinary. But I just remember, everything happens in threes, I've always said. And that particular day will always stand out because what are the chances that you will get 3 back to back? Fine as fuck, but each one of them had something going on that was just kind of like freaky, odd, weird, out of the ordinary, call it what you want. But I got through it, and that's the work ethic in me. I'm not going to sit here and be like, bitch, what's up with your hands? So you get through it. Anywho, so I am going to make this one short. Now, the next one after this is really a fun story. This one I had to, tell all 3 back to back because had to tell these stories because they did literally happen all like within a couple of hours. And I was like, oh, all right, guys. So don't forget thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. I would think you have, and stay safe, stay healthy. Oh, a couple of episodes ago, I mentioned the podcast that I was in. They are both up and running. So Get Schooled by Marcella Alonso and then Stripped by Sia. And in both cases, it's about like sex work and all of that good stuff. So they're both available now. The Stripped by Sia just hit yesterday, and then the Get Schooled just hit last week. So you could see them wherever you could see any podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, I guess, So tune in and, enjoy those as well. All right, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. New York City, thank God the air quality is kind of back to normal. At least the sky ain't orange, right? Okay. See you guys soon. Love you.